What's up, YouTube? Recently, I got an amazing question about my collector journey. This was on my Patreon community, but I thought it was important to share with all of you guys my perspective on this topic. Before you go into that, let me ask you just for one thing. If you can leave a like on this video, thank you so much for that. At the end of the day, is the best way to show support. Let's not waste any time and let's go into the topic. First question goes this way. André, as a collector of all types of cards, I love how you have transitioned over the last year or so from vintage and pre-modern to also ultra-modern. Can you share your thinking behind this transformation? So I thought this was an amazing question. It's a personal question, but I don't mind at all to answer. And let's start this way. Evolution as a collector, and we are all at a different stage, and I would love to share with you my stage as a collector when it comes to the Messi market, and I think putting this in perspective may give you a good idea why I started collecting modern a bit more. So when I ended up entering the market, my main goal was to collect all the Messi rookies, also Cristiano Ronaldo by the way, but let's focus on Messi for now. All the Messi rookies in grades that I felt they have condition rarity, they can also stand the test of time. And for me was between 8 and 9, especially working on my budget. I thought it was impossible to go for the 10s even at the time, unless I was very likely to buy them raw and have the potentially premium on the 10. Never ended up being the case. I had a couple of 9s. Actually, I had a lot of 9s grading raw, but never a 10. And after that, I realized, okay, let's go for the 8s and the 9s, and I think that's an amazing goal. This picture, by the way, is not even updated. At this point, I have all the Messi rookies in 8s and 9s, and I think that's an amazing goal that I was able to complete. Then you can tell me, Andre, but what about the 8s? You can upgrade to the 9s. Well, of course, and I think long run, eventually I will try to do that. Right now, that does not give me a lot of pleasure. I love the 8s as much as I love the 9s. I also think me being European, and this is no excuse, but I never understood the grading premium that much. I think grading is a bit in a bubble still. I know this is a hot take for a lot of people, but I have 9s that are not in the condition that I had some 8s and vice versa. So this is the type of stuff that for me, condition rarity, I understand is a thing. I also don't want to pay crazy premiums, and the PSA 8, the SCC 8 is already a beautiful card. Then I started looking into more stuff, and for example, I remember going heavy in 2006 Messi cards with Argentina, stickers, the Maryland sticker, there is a couple of releases, I ended up getting all of them. Then I did some consolidation, ended up keeping a card and a sticker, and I thought that was such amazing pieces for my Messi collection. Then I also started looking at second year cards. I bought all the relevant ones for me. I'm talking about the ST sticker 2005 and also the Mega Cracks 2005 in grades that are similar to the rookies, PSA 8s and PSA 9s. I also had the Mundi Chromus. And I thought again, another amazing goal that I was able to complete. And by the way, maybe you are still in that phase that I was 1 year ago, 2 years ago, trying to get all the Messi rookies, trying to get some early cards for Messi, and that's fine. Don't rush anything, you have time. I say this multiple times on this channel. My entry point on the market was quite good. I understand a lot of you guys may never find the entry point I had in late 2019. I was buying Messi rookies very cheap at the time. That alone made me have a nice start in the soccer card market. Then later, I believe this was last year, maybe even 2 years ago, I started looking more at Mega Cracks inserts. I love the lineage of Mega Cracks. And I thought that, you know what, for me it makes sense to collect all the Mega Cracks cards, especially inserts since they are refractors. Not all of them, but most of them are refractors. They look amazing in hand. And I think it's an amazing way to tell the history of Lionel Messi with Barcelona. And I did that. I was very successful. My idea was grades between 8s and 9s, and up going actually for the 9s. Again, I don't care about the grading premium that much. I have a couple of PSA slabs. I thought the SCC slab, in terms of aesthetics, I thought looked better for the inserts than the PSA. I understand the market does not pay the same. like I said, I'm talking as a collector right now, not as an investor, even though both things can go hand in hand. And I did that, I had a lot of fun. I'm actually thinking about expanding this Mega Cracks collection a bit more. Maybe also go for the base cards, maybe also go for different tiers, since I end up going from 2006 until 2015. The initial idea was 2006 until 2014, end up going for 2015 because the Ballon d'Or card for Messi is so iconic that I said I need to add another extra year. And by the way, I still think those cards are amazing collectibles if you love Messi. For me, they are actually a must-have in any Messi collection, because they tell the history, especially in an era that Messi was at his prime, and I think that's such an amazing thing. But then this was a goal that I thought maybe not finished, but very close to that. I need to find something that keeps me alive in the Messi market, because I love to collect Messi. And again, some of you guys may say, okay, but you can upgrade grades, you can go for the Mundicroms, and I'm also doing that. That's the thing. I may not show everything, but I'm also trying to upgrade. I'm also trying to find certain pre-modern inserts that maybe a little bit more rare than even the Mega Cracks. That's always in the background, that's always something that I'm working on. But I also thought, you know what, Ultra Modern is an important era for the soccer card market. Messi is still playing. For me, that's huge. If Messi was not playing, I would not care about the Ultra Modern cards for him. But I started looking at the two most iconic sets in Ultra Modern, whatever you want to call it. I'm talking about Top Scrum 2017 and Prism 2014. Recently ended up upgrading my green 99 Top Scrum Messi to a orange one out of 25, quite more rare. And I'm also trying to look for a gold. I know it's a very expensive card. The red I'm pretty sure I cannot afford at this point in time, but the gold maybe I can still afford. Maybe I go for the rainbow apart from the red. So another fun goal that I can have into the modern era. If those cards get expensive, there is no problem, because I also have other modern cards that I'm trying to buy. I like, for example, the first tier of Finest for Lionel Messi. I think the photo on that card is amazing. I also think Finest is a set that in general can have some momentum one day, since it's such an important brand for tops. I also collect inserts that I think are amazing in Ultra Modern. The one you are seeing on the screen, the Prized Footballs, is one of my favorite ones. Again, maybe the market does not price it that much, but this is my personal collection. I also bought a couple of 2014 Prism cards for Messi, because I also think it's an important set. I also collect Panini Treble. I also have a nice Messi card there. And again, this is just the way I'm approaching the market right now. There is nothing wrong if you just want to collect pre-modern for Messi. I think you can also have a lot of fun. I want to expand my collection a bit more, especially when it comes to Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo. End up giving you the Messi example, but you can apply this logic also very similar to Cristiano Ronaldo. Hey guys, quick pause on this one. Hope you are enjoying the video, but I want to share two things with you. The first is my Patreon community. If you love this type of videos, you probably love my content on Patreon. I put a new Q&A every week there, and I also put extra audio that you can call a podcast on Saturday. If you join Patreon right now, you have hours and hours and hours of content. It's actually quite crazy. Link below the video if you want to join. In this case, link on the description. The second thing is my Discord server. Amazing place to interact with me, amazing place to interact with other collectors, to learn about the soccer card market. We are more than 900 members and we are growing super fast. Link also below the video, check both, and now let's continue with this one. The other thing I want to share with you is enjoy the journey, but even more important, enjoy your own journey. For me, and this will go into the question, I have a couple of targets in pre-modern and vintage that I'm still trying to acquire. Most of them are quite expensive, most of them are quite difficult, so I'm basically priced out of the market, if that makes sense. Or they may not even make sense for me looking at the entry point. I may feel that in 1 year, 2 years, I be able to acquire those cards for cheap, or my financial situation will be better to acquire those cards at that point in time. I'm not giving you any example in particular. This is basically a macro take, but actually applies in real life of what I'm doing right now. I'm not going to share all my goals, like you can imagine, for logic reasons, but I guess I can share with you one of my targets long run, since I already talked about this on the channel. I would love to have a Pelé Alifa Bologuete, super iconic card, and I have the Mega Cracks Ronaldo, I have the Mega Cracks Messi, and I also have the disc for Maradona, and I know this is the big card I'm missing, and of course is also one of the most expensive ones. But looking at other goals, I kind of feel the entry point is a bit higher right now for what I really want to pay for this card. It gets difficult for me to justify such decisions, especially because I would be forced to consolidate part of my collection to do it. It's not like, is this impossible? No, it's not an impossible goal. But do I need to sell a lot? Do I need to consolidate a lot? Do I need to push to my collect? Basically, I need to strict my collection a bit to be able to reach a card like this, and that does not make a lot of sense, at least for now. Maybe in 1 year that will be different. For example, right now I see quite more value finding certain releases in Modern for Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo, since the entry point seems quite nice, and I believe over time I will have a better entry point on a card like this and a worse entry point on the cards I'm buying. Of course, I can be wrong. Of course, this is super speculative, but is at least the way I'm looking at the market right now. So I have mixed feelings about all of this, like you can imagine. If in one end I would love to have this Pelé Alifa Bologuete, I know to get there I need to sell a lot, and I feel uncomfortable right now. So there is a lot of variables, and this is a difficult market to navigate because you have to put so many variables on the table: what you like, what other people may like, what the market really likes. I normally go with what I like. For now, since Modern is a new market for me, I'm still enjoying the learning curve, and I feel like a lot of key cards, by the way, again, key cards for me have a decent entry point right now. I also know sooner or later I will be priced out of my Modern targets, since they keep getting bigger and bigger. That most likely will bring me back to pre-modern and vintage. This is a never-ending cycle, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys relate with me. Some people just collect vintage, some people just collect pre-modern, some people just collect one player. Collecting is something very personal, and my journey has brought me to the modern market. Again, for now. Tomorrow, I don't know, but I can't wait to see what comes next. Enjoy the journey, have a nice day.